even missed my music. Hey, everybody, welcome. My name is Lauren, if it's your first time tuning in. And this is the third year, I think it's the third year in a row that I've done kind of I don't want to say unveiling, but revealing my grow list for the year in a series of videos. So I normally do, I have a Thursday show, which will be tomorrow, Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce, and I share and spotlight, much like I'm going to do today, but tomatoes from all over the world that I find interesting or that I've never talked about before. There's so much to say about tomatoes. And I think regular earth people who don't quite get the obsession that we all have, they're like, what is there to talk about a tomato? But often there's great stories. There's hopefully we find out the breeder information, the person that created the tomato, the story behind it. So it translates into shows that are often 2 hours long. I'm here on a Wednesday. Today's Wednesday, March 11th. Normally I do these on Tuesdays. So I have my regular Thursday show that's still the same, not going anywhere. And then I did Tuesdays for my grow list, my garden tours, unboxings. It was like an extra day. But many of you know this. Our friend Ken Fry, who's the moderator of Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap, our sister group to Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap, he has been dying to do a pepper show for years. And I keep telling him, I will help you. I will help you. And then I did when PLC, I think it was when we hit 4,000 members. Was it it was probably a couple months ago at this point because I've been gone for a month. So I did a show just on peppers and people loved it. They were going crazy and they're obviously aching for a show about peppers. Ken works. He can't always make Tuesdays, but if most of the time he can. And so I said, I would rather switch my day and you get the Tuesdays and I'll figure out a different day. So right now we're trying out Wednesdays to see how it goes. Wednesday, same time as usual, which is 4 o'clock Eastern. For some of you in Europe, here in the United States, we changed our clocks ahead last weekend. So the time, I think Kina told me for like another 2 weeks, our times will be a little bit off than normal. So some of you in Europe may be watching me a little bit earlier. So anyway, mark on your calendars now. I will be on Wednesdays. So Wednesdays and Thursdays. So there you go. I hope you caught my episode with Jen, Tomato Talk Live, last Friday. It wasn't just with Jen and Kina. We celebrated 10,000 members of our community, Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. And so the three of us, the three admins of the group, we get together from time to time, not often enough, and we do a grand celebration. We gave away almost 100 prizes, generously donated by so many of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I've seen you all, but I haven't really had a chance to talk. So I was away. We haven't done my Thursday show in, I think it's been 5 weeks, and I've really missed it. My show's called Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce, by the way. Here's a little promo for it. If you've never, oh no, what did I do? Well, scratch the date. That's not the right thing. Hang on. I know I made it. Let's try to get this better. Hang on. It is tomorrow, March. Did I not upload it? I guess I didn't. Wah, wah. Oh well, same graphic, but different date. Tomorrow, March 12th, and it will be at this time. If you never caught the show, it's a really fun show. Come to you for about 2 hours. And so today is my grow list video. I started to say I had a wonderful vacation. I'm sure you can tell from the color on my face, the weather was beautiful. We got some beach days in. I got some golf in with my parents. I spend 3 weeks down in Destin, Florida with my parents each year. And it's very, very precious time to me as they get older. They're in their low 80s. Is that the right word? Low 80s, not the high 80s, early 80s. And it's a really great chance for me to reboot. Also, I feel like from kind of the holidays on, I get a bit crazed. After the holidays, I'm Kina, Jen, and I are getting our grow out seeds out, which is a tremendous amount of work. And then after that, I'm busy getting seeds out for everybody, so I'm not behind before I leave for Destin, which is mid-February. And so by the time I get there, I'm ready to crash. And that's what I did. I unplugged, not completely, but quite a bit, and it felt great. So now I'm back, I'm relaxed, getting more seeds out and getting ready. I'm in New Jersey, which used to be zone 6B. Now I guess it's more 7A is what they're saying. Some of the zones are changing. It is far too early for me to start seeds. Take that as advice for those of you who are all itching to start seeds. You don't want to start your seeds, and you've got to trust me on this, less than 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. It will be a waste of your time. You think you're going to get the earliest tomatoes on the block. It really, what I start seeds starting, I actually started some dwarfs this past weekend, because what I do is I put them in grow bags and I drag them out in the sun during the day when it's warm enough, not yet, when it's warm enough, and then I can drag them into the garage at night. I call them my garage tomatoes. I know many of you have started doing that as well. So I do that, but for my regular indeterminates, unless it's something like I have some older seeds, unless it's something I think I may have trouble germinating, it's just too early. You're going to outgrow your grow lights. The plants will get stressed. You very well may need to start over. It's a real waste of your time. It really has more to do with the soil temperature. Having a massive plant isn't going to give you earlier tomatoes, because I stagger my starts, um, every week starting like end of March. I will start and then I'll do them for another couple weeks going through April. Honestly, it works out really well for me. I think this will be my third year doing that. It works out great, but I implore you, please, I know how tempting it is. Do not start. We see our friends down south starting, and for them, it is time. But if you are not down south, it is just too early. You've got to trust me. I'm not trying to keep tomatoes out of your mouth, wonderful tomatoes, but you've got to trust me. Many of us have learned this the hard way. And don't plan out too early either. That is my PSA for the day. I have a lot of tomatoes to talk about today. I'm curious to see, and maybe somebody can remind me, did I try to do these shows 1 hour last year, like keep it to an hour? Because I don't like to do more shows than like 6 shows. And based on what my calculations are at the moment, my grow list isn't like 100% complete, because I'm still waiting for some interesting things to come in. But I'm getting there, and I need to slash things. Ideally, I'd like to get down to 150. I'm at like 170 right now. Not ideal. I could make it work, but I just find for my own peace of mind, 150 is my sweet spot. So I'll be showing you things that in the end may get kicked off. I don't know what I'm going to kick off. But I don't think anything today is anything I'm considering kicking off, but we will see. We'll see. Or I may just put them all in grow bags and torture myself. But, we're all different. Somebody asked in the group yesterday, like, how many is too many? And I think it was kind of tongue in cheek. I think it really just depends on you, the person. For me, Rob and I spend a lot of time doing detailed reviews every night. We review like 5 to 6 tomatoes every night during the summer, so it starts to get late. I take a lot of pictures because I end up writing in detail those reviews on my Instagram and Facebook page, and so it just gets to be crazy. And I'm working night and day out there anyway. Very happy about that. I love doing this work, but I also just want to enjoy the tomatoes, and I'm afraid if I do much more, I will just be so crazed. I do a lot of seed saving, obviously. Um, the pictures, it all takes a lot of time. So for me, it's 150. For you, it may be 25. Some of you, I don't know how you do it, do hundreds, even up to 1,000. I don't know how you do it, if you have help or whatever, but I have a feeling if I were to do that many, they would all just jumble in my mind and I wouldn't remember them, and I want to remember them. So anyway, if you haven't watched before, um, obviously you've just seen that I get very chatty. I get very excited talking about tomatoes. Um, let's say hi. So this is a live interactive broadcast. It is recorded for those who cannot watch the show, but it looks like we have 89 live viewers right now. So welcome. If it's your first time watching, say hi in the comments. I'm going to keep putting the comments on the screen to a minimum today just so I can get through more tomatoes. But this one just jumped out at me. Hey, Kina. Glad you're here. Kina gets to watch an hour earlier because she hasn't turned her clocks ahead yet. Let's see who was first. Harley. I saw Harley was first. Hey, Harley. Nice to see you. Sherman. I'm glad you had a nice vacation in Florida. I did. If you've never been to Destin, it's on the panhandle of Florida. Oh my God, it is heaven on earth. I sent Kina and Jen a video I took of my last day there. I was on the beach and there was a school of fish. The sand is powder white. It looks like snow. No shells or anything. It's really gorgeous. So it makes the water look turquoise, like in the Caribbean. And there was kind of a dark shadow out in the water. It was obviously a school of fish, and all of these pelicans were hanging out, and they were like, I swear there were, I don't know, 100, maybe more pelicans. And then you see them take off and dive right down. It was just the most beautiful thing. And it reminds me of, I mean, nature's so beautiful, and it reminds me of just how vast the world is and how little my problems are in the world. I just couldn't get enough of it. Kina and Jen were subject to many a video that day, but it's a beautiful place, and not to mention just having that downtime with my parents was nice. Who else do we have? Dolan Jam. Can't wait to hear what's on your list. Me too. This is the first year I'm not doing them in alphabetical order. I'm kind of skipping around, which I may regret because it keeps things kind of organized. But I don't know. I'm so used to looking at it in alphabetical order, I thought I'd switch it around a little bit. I am dying to tell you guys about so many of the, well, all of them really. But there's some I'm just like really dying to tell you. They're obviously, I can't pack them all into episode one, but I have a couple in here that I can't wait to tell you guys about. Not giving away prizes during these shows either, by the way. So save your hashtag tomato. That will be tomorrow. We already have several members donating gifts for tomorrow. Um, before I forget, a couple other things. May is coming up. So our third annual Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap Meetup and Plant Swap is coming up in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, which is the halfway point between Jen and I, on Friday, May 8th. It will go from 12 to 6. We are looking into getting a food truck because we grow and grow and grow each time. And so a lot of people, it seems some people are flying in, I know, which is really exciting. So we should have, we're picking out the food truck now, but it's a food truck that has a little bit of everything. And then we'll have vendors there. I know Ken Fry will be there. I'm not sure about Bounty Hunter this time or not. I have to talk to Lucas, but I think they might. So come, bring, if you have extra plants, and who doesn't have extra plants, bring them. You can swap. If you don't have plants to swap, that's okay. Still come anyway. It is free, but we are gladly taking donations. We do pay for the pavilion that we rent. We'll have to make up the difference of the food truck if people don't order enough. And it just, it takes work and stuff. So we will take donations, but honestly, it's absolutely free. We don't want to charge anybody anything. So hope you guys can make it. Mark it on your calendars. I can't believe it's coming up. I mean, it's a little less than 2 months, but it seems like it's creeping up quickly. And then Tomato Talk Live next month, we have our friend Angwei, who's going to be our guest. Angwei Es, otherwise known as Phil Seneca of Good Mind Seeds. He's a good friend to Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap, and so many of us. Incredibly generous with his seeds. I grew a whole bunch of his stuff last season. I'm growing a whole bunch of his stuff this season. And we're just going to talk tomatoes. He's incredibly brilliant on tomato genetics, and things like that. And he'll just be around to answer questions. He's the nicest guy. So, Angwei, I don't know if you're here. I haven't seen your name yet, but we're looking forward to that. So that will be Friday, April 3rd. Um, oh, I wanted to mention, do I mention this today? I'll mention it when I get to it. See a lot of familiar names. Love that picture of Lauren. She looks so happy. I assume you mean the one in my garden. I'm always happy in my garden. I tell people, thank you. That's a really nice compliment. My happy place is in Destin, Florida, and in my garden. Those two places. I mean, I love any beach, but Destin, Florida is really very special to me. Yeah, seeing hi everybody. I wish I could put all your comments on, but for time's sake, I hope you're all watching Ken's show on Tuesdays, Pepper Show. Ken, what is it called? Ken's Pepper Show, I think. Tuesdays at this time. He's doing a great job. He had his latest show yesterday. Out there, speak of the devil, there he is. Stopped in on my lunch break. Hey, Ken. I did not even plan that. I didn't know you were here. But I'm really excited. It's a great show, and it's fun to be able to watch a show um, for change. Love the hoodie. Thank you for bringing that up. I love the hoodie too. I was so excited to wear it today. It's my first time wearing it. It's 80 degrees outside. I don't know what is that in Celsius. I don't know, but basically hot. It's like summer weather. It's going to change. It will change tonight, I believe. But I went outside to put some seed mail out in the mailbox, and I looked at the thermometer. It's like 78, 79 degrees Fahrenheit. I thought it was supposed to get cold today. So anyway, I had to do tomato season sweatshirt. This is not from Inspired Garden Life. I had found this on Amazon. But I do have something special coming from Inspired Garden Life that I'm excited about. All right, nice to see so many familiar faces. Teresa's here. Heidi's here. Chantel's here. Greg, Jerry. Hi from Canada, says Rosalinda Matilda. 146. Hi there. Welcome. We have lots of Canadians in the group. If you're not a member of our community, we welcome growers of all levels, whether you've never grown a tomato before or you've been growing for 30 years like me. We have something for everybody. There are no stupid questions. It's a very kind, generous, and helpful group. Really, we trip over ourselves trying to help newbies. I'm not insinuating you're a newbie, Rosalina, but just saying for anybody that may be watching for the first time, please join us. We are on Facebook. Even if you hate Facebook, join just to be a member of our community. Oh, here he is. Here's Angwei. Skano Angwei. Wasn't that a nice picture of him? He just sent me that this morning. Yeah, everybody's saying they're looking forward to Angwei on the show. All right. Valerie Smith is here. I'm actually featuring something because of you today. Not too far off. I hope you can stay for it, but there's something that as soon as you told me about it, it went right on my grow list, and I'll be talking about it. All right, we ready? Anything else I needed to talk about? Nope, I guess not. So let's get right into it. Again, these are in no particular order. Kind of tried to go through the alphabet without getting an alphabetical order, and didn't want to like load you up on the first one with all the ones I'm like passing out. I'm so excited about. I mean, honestly, I'm passing out about all of them. Where's my slideshow? Where be my slide? Okay, here we go. This first one is from Old South Seeds. I don't tend to put micro dwarfs, and this isn't a micro, this is more a mini dwarf or a compact variety. I am growing micros today. I started seeds for Lucas Wallman's creation, which he put a post about in the group this morning. He crossed Vilma, which is one of my favorite micro dwarfs, and Jarson one tricolor, which is one of my favorite tomatoes. So he is looking, it's in the F2 generation right now. He's looking to select for micros. So he sent me a bunch of seeds. I put them in soil. as soon as I got them. And so I'm excited to help out with that. Thank you, Lucas. I don't know if you're here or not, but that's exciting. But I don't generally put up slides for my micros. The ones I'm doing this year, other than Lucas's, and I'm growing Ongwei's Gaijiza, um, the rest are all my creations. I need to, I'm in F5 stage for some really exciting ones. So a lot like my green stalk and all of that. So maybe I'll put it in a slide at some point. But there's a couple I'm super excited about. But anyway, I digress. This one's called 506 Bush. Old South Seeds, who's on Etsy, and I believe their shop is taking a break at the moment. They tend to feature stuff that is really difficult to find elsewhere. They say, and I'm not going to read the full thing about each tomato either, like I do on my Thursday show, because it will take a long time. But some of them, like this one, I think um, it does entail some reading, so you know why I chose it. They said, and this is run by Mark and Carol, 506 Bush ended up in my top 5 for flavor this year, meaning last year. It was in my top 2 for flavor at the end of the season. They said they had previously read that it had a mild flavor. She says it grew 20 inches tall or less. 20 inches is 50 centimeters, so pretty short. Said she's never grown tomatoes this large on such small plants, and she thought she'd be disappointed, but she loved it. So that's 506 Bush. And if any of you are growing any of the stuff I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments. Oh, there's one right there, Akelia. Hey, Akelia. Christy, you've grown it before, huh? It's a great little plant. Yeah, I love the big leaves too. I wanted to make sure I got a picture of the whole plant. This is from theirs too. Thought I'd give it a shot. I have a spot back by Rob's shed that doesn't get full sun, so I tend to put some compact dwarfs back there, like Nano's Meatball, which I'll do again this year. So they tend to take a little bit longer to ripen, and they tend to get taller than they should because they're not in full sun. But I may put this back there. 506 Bush. Excited for that. Oh, bye, Ken. Lunch is over. Thanks for tuning in. I see somebody put in hashtag tomato. Join my show tomorrow, Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce. During these my grow list videos, I don't give away prizes, or maybe I have in the past, but I'm not this year. Andrea, I've got to get my grow list down to 120. Help! I know it's so hard. I see so many of you in TLC putting your grow list and say I need to knock out like 50 plants. It's really hard. I know. And our taste is so subjective, so we're all different. This next one I had on my wish list, and I am getting it thanks to Kina, who was able to order it from Cultive Taru. It's funny, and Kina, Jen, and I were talking about this the other day. There's some American varieties that are impossible to find in America, but you can find in Russia and every place else. It's really weird. This is called Anna Margaret's heart, not to be confused with, I think there's an Anna Marie's heart. This is a different thing, not related at all. Anna Margaret's heart. It's got a great story to it. I did see, and you can tell from the pictures, I think it's Tatiana's tomato base said that theirs, and it's going back years, theirs weren't hearts. So theirs probably looked more like the beefsteaks down in the right corner. But Cult of Taru has hearts. So this one, it's a long story. Let me share a little bit of it. This is from Tatiana's tomato base. George Liptak acquired these tomato seeds from his now deceased aunt, Anna Margaret Liptak. She was born in the town of Elsinore, Missouri, blah, blah, blah. She located to Pueblo, Colorado, where she met George's uncle. They both relocated, or they stayed till 1996. When they moved back to Pueblo, she passed away in February of 2011, a few months away from her 98th birthday. An avid gardener, she was still planting, planting, and growing vegetables up until her death. The only tomato she would grow is the one she referred to as her German tomato. She had German ancestors, but she probably acquired seeds when she was living in Missouri. Unfortunately, George never got any more information about it. Anna Margaret provided seeds to George in 2008. George then shared seeds with the late Dr. Carolyn Mail of Tomatoville, and she was distributing seeds back in, she included in her annual seed offer in 2014. So some, obviously there are some in the United States that have it. It's not even in the Seed Savers Exchange yearbook this year. So I'm excited for this one. And thank you, Kina, for getting this one for me. I don't know where I heard about it, but I knew I had to have it. It's, you Google it, you're not going to find much unless you're in Russia. Joe Machismo. I grow 10 varieties, 8 plants of each. My wife thinks I'm crazy. I think I need to get her to watch this. You absolutely should, Joe, because if she watches it, she'll be like, that woman's nuts. You're normal. You absolutely should have her watch it, watch the replay, or have her join you now if you can. Yeah, I've got it bad. Got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. I'm hot for tomatoes. I do have it bad. Tune into my Thursday show. It's really crazy. But even more crazy is I get like a couple hundred viewers or 150-ish, sometimes a little more, that stay for the entire 2 hours. And I get it. I was telling Ken earlier that yesterday I was filling seed wishes. I don't sell any seeds, but seed wishes while I was watching his show for 2 hours. And I kind of wished it went on longer because first of all, it was great and it's just a really nice escape. So I hope you guys find that with my show too. So that's Anna Margaret's Heart. Hey, Deb, nice to see you. Anna says, I think I'm growing Anna Meyer, which seems common amongst German growers, and I think it's also from the US. Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that one, I don't think. I'll have to check it out. Hey, Rowena. Rowena's traveling today, catching a little of this while waiting in the Nassau airport. For those of you that don't know, Nassau is in the Bahamas. Now, I shouldn't be such a brat since I just got away from heaven on earth myself for 3 weeks. But have safe travels, Rowena. I'm glad you checked in. All right, next one. This one's not to be found anywhere because it's mine. Last year, I've been doing a cross of I crossed it a couple of years ago, Malachite box and dwarf purple heartthrob. Last year, I grew out, when you grow out the F1, they're the same, but when you grow out the F2, you get wild differences. Kina and I are kind of doing this at the same time. She made a cross, or a couple crosses that first year too. I'm further ahead on my micros, but for my first indeterminate and dwarf, this is the F3 generation. So Malachite box and dwarf purple heartthrob. And I posted a picture in the group last season. It ran the gamut what I got. I got dwarfs, I got indeterminates, all kinds of colors, all kinds of shapes, stripes, not stripes. It was a lot of fun. We tasted them all. And Rob and I determined that it was painful to not carry them all through, honestly, but there were 4 that we felt were really special and I wanted to continue on with. And this is one of them. This is one of the ones I'm most excited about. This is a dwarf. It's called Cha-ching. Has very similar shape to dwarf purple heartthrob, and you can see it's got the striping. It got to be about 36 inches, or 36 inches is 90 centimeters. And you can see there are these blunt hearts. It's got a little bit of a pink blush at the bottom, and they were delicious. Cha-ching F3. I love GWRs. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. The 4 that we chose. I gave Kina and Jen some as well. Cha-ching looks good. Can't wait to get a chance to grow that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what this F3 generation brings, but I'm super excited. Not much to say about it. Malachite box, dwarf purple heartthrob. Malachite box was the mother plant. with pollen from Dwarf Purple Heartthrob. And yeah, I love the shape on this. It was also very productive, as you can see from the when they were smaller on that plant. So that's Cha-ching. Next one. This is an exciting one. I was given seeds for this by my friend. I won't mention the friend because I don't want people to be hounded, but if you're watching, you know who you are. Was given these seeds like 2 years ago, I think. It's a Dean Slater creation. It's called Dwarf Clown. And almost impossible to find information about it. I ended up finding stuff about it on his old group, PKS Tomato Breeders. Um, don't know what the generation is. The friend who gave it to me grew um, the one on the right, which she said they were more pale yellow. She said she got seeds from a tomato vendor who's not selling it. So I reached out to the tomato vendor and asked her about it, if she knew what generation it was, what hers looked like, and hers looked more like the one on the left. She believed it was the this was where'd it go? This was F3 back in 2017. Now, how far it went along before the vendor got it, grew it, gave it to my friend, she grew it, not sure. She thinks it's at least an F5, but it could be further along. It's called Dwarf Clown. Dean, what does Dean say about it? He's the only thing we know about it is it has Red House freestanding in the cross. I grew Red House freestanding last year. Suggestion from Blaine Horton, who said it's great and great for crosses. I'm growing it again this year. I have a cross idea for it. So this one is kind of going to be a mystery what I get, but I don't know why I didn't grow it last year, Dwarf Clown. But if anybody's grown it, please let me know what you thought. Um, Oh no, falcon in the garden. Been trying to harden off my seedlings and the wind took down my malachite box. Oh, how bad is it? Tomatoes are very resilient. Um, so even if it broke in half, you can take the top of it, put it in soil, it will develop roots. It's a setback, but they are more resilient than you think. But I understand how painful that is when you lose a plant. I think it was 3 years ago now. We planted, we were getting a false spring like we're getting here now. And in May 18th, that's really our average frost date, but we should have waited really until the end of May. And we planted not all of our tomatoes, but a good chunk of them. Wouldn't you know, I said May 18th, May 17th. It was my son's birthday, which is why I never forget. We got a frost that night. And I thought we lost some of the varieties I was super excited about because they looked dead. I mean, they looked, what tomato plants look like when frost hits them. But they popped back. They set back, but they did pop back. All right. This is an exciting one. This one's called Frudica, and I had this on my most wanted, which I don't do every week on my Thursday show, but I had this on my most wanted. This is a Japanese hybrid variety. I came across it. Many of you know I grew a variety called Missoura this past year, and it was one of the best tomatoes I've ever had. It's a Japanese variety. They breed. They often call their tomatoes fruit tomatoes. So some of them, not all of them, but they breed for sweetness, like a fruitiness, and to withstand disease and all of that. So I became obsessed. Also grew one called Reika F1, which I'll talk about in a minute. So I wanted to dive into more hybrid Japanese fruit tomatoes, and I came across this one. I've had so many people looking for me so kindly, like a friend's going to Japan. Can I have a look? This one has eluded me until very recently. A very good tomato friend who's also a vendor, who I won't mention her name, sent me 3 seeds for this. I put them in soil. I was going to say this earlier. For those of you who are able to come to our plant swap in Carlisle, I've started four or five, I think, different F1 hybrid Japanese varieties. My hope is that because it's so early for me, I will take cuttings from them and I will root them and have some plants to give out. I did that with some things a few years ago and it worked out well. So that's why I've started these early. So I may have some Frudica, and there's another one I'll talk about in a minute. Also started Momotaro. I won't say the other ones because it'll be on my grow list, but Frudica is one of them. The reason why it appealed to me, first of all, it's bred by Takai Seed, which is a big seed company in Japan. High quality clusters throughout the complete growing cycle. Round shape, extra high bricks. Bricks measures the sugar in tomatoes. Doesn't give you the full picture of a taste of a tomato because there's much, much more to it than just the sweetness. In fact, we were talking about this in the Team Ongway chat the other day. We wish there was something that measured salinity of tomatoes. There are things that look like refractometers that measure salinity, but it's more for like pickles and salt water and things like that, not the salinity in tomatoes. But it is nice to have some kind of a measure for those of you that like a really sweet cherry. It looks like this may be the one. Um, it's marketed as a fruit tomato, is what they say. So excited about Frudica, and thank you to my friend if you're watching. Thank you for those 3 seeds. They're like gold. Japanese, I bet it's great. Yeah. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you. And yes, infinite hybrid tomato hack. Yes. I love doing that. First of all, I'm a sucker for suckers, but I thought start them early. I can at least get a couple plants. Maybe I'll give them away, but I wanted to have some special things to bring to Carlisle. I'm growing Yamamoto F2 from Grafsamina. Interesting. Interesting. I haven't heard of Yamamoto. F2, you just never know what you're going to get with F2. I know there are Julia Tomaten Welt sells a lot of the F2 seeds of previously F1 hybrids. I know many of you bought them. I did too. It'll be interesting this year to see how they pan out because you don't always get, in fact, most of the time, you don't the same thing as you got in the F1, but maybe it's good. I find things, this from personal experience, I find things really fall apart in F3. Everything becomes a hot mess in F3. But F2, you can often, like people do it with Sun Gold, you can often get something that looks just like it and maybe tastes almost as good. So we shall see. But I haven't heard of Yamamoto. I'll have to look at that. Love Momotoro. So you've grown that. It was kind of a late minute addition to me. It's also known as Tough Boy. Those seeds in the United States are very easy to find. You can find them if you Google Momotoro or Tough Boy, you can find those seeds quite easily. Umamin is another one. I'll talk about that in a future episode. I'm growing that one too. But I've heard good things about Momotaro. So I shall grow it. All right, I featured this one on my Thursday show many months ago. The wonderful family from Kids Seed Company, they sent me seeds for their brand new very first release of a tomato. It's called Hurricane Helene, named after the horrific hurricane that came through back in the summer of 2024. I can't believe it's been almost 2 years. It's crazy. They were affected. Their town was affected. I think I have pictures. Yeah, here's some pictures that she had sent me back when she sent me the seeds. So this is a beautiful pink heart. Did she say anything about the heart? It was a cross of a larger heart-shaped tomato that had similar flavor to the sandy mush tomato. Sandy mush tomato. All right, I need to go back in the story for this. About 10 years ago, a friend of ours who farms in the Sandy Mush community of Buncombe County, way out in the mountains, gave us a nameless tomato variety that our family has grown for over 100 years. The tomato had amazing flavor and the plants were very productive. While we loved almost everything about it, the fruits tended to be small. We are big fans of heart-shaped tomatoes, so we decided to cross it with the Hungarian heart tomato. So that's Hurricane Helene. Thank you, Laura and the rest of the fam at Kid Seed Company. You can order them. It's not just me that has these. You can order them right on their site. If you never checked out Kid Seed Company, do I have a banner up here for them? You want to check them out. They have a great selection. What I love about, there's a lot of things I love about them. Their packaging is fantastic. But also so many of the things that they sell, they've picked up along their travels. They're world travelers. So France and um, Italy, I'm trying to think, like all over the place. And so they'll be like, yeah, we picked up these peppers in Spain. So check them out. Hurricane Helene. Is anybody else growing Hurricane Helene? Gayla is. Great. Um, Rachel said, beautiful. I will have to try this. Hungarian heart is my go to, but wonder if there's something more out there. Oh, look, here she is. Yay. Or here they are. You're so welcome. I'm an honored to grow this year. I can't wait to grow it. It looks phenomenal. Oh, I'm so glad you're here to see this. Hi, everyone. Um, could you put the link in the comments to your store? I had a banner, but I think the banner's in my Lawrence Tomato Awesome Sauce studio and not here. Would love to give everybody the direct link so they can check it out themselves. Oh, you won this seed, says Nanette. And hey, Linda, I'm growing Micro Tokyo. I grew that, I think, last year when it came out. Yes, that's one of theirs too. Exciting. Oh, I'm thrilled that you guys are here. That's nice. All right. Next one. Lauren's Awesome Sauce. So here's the scoop. Many of you know this. Was it 2 years ago? I think it was Tatiana Nagel, who's a wonderful friend to our group, to me, Kina, and Jen. She's been really good to us over the years. What a vendor she is, tomatoeden.net. She has so many varieties. She's a one-woman show, and she grows so many incredible varieties. And much to our surprise, she bred special varieties for me, Kina, and Jen. It's the Lauren, Kina, and Jennifer. Jen couldn't wait to grow them until last summer, like I did. So she grew them indoors and she found the regular Lauren. The regular Lauren is like a pale yellow with some anthocyanin at the top. And then she found something that she liked even more. And so she decided to save seeds and she asked me to name it. I named it Lauren's Awesome Sauce because I say that all the time. And so I grew it last summer. I grew Lauren and Lauren's Awesome Sauce. And let me tell you, that it was only an F4, so it's not stable yet, but this thing was fire, as the kids say. Or is it fire? I don't know. It was incredible. As you can see, the Brix was a 7.1. Look at the colors. It was absolutely incredible. The cross that Tatiana originally made was of Mennonite and Ananas Blue. Um, I know some of you grew Lauren's Awesome Sauce last year also. Um, hey, Mary. So pretty. I agree. Isn't it gorgeous? I'm really, really hoping that that the same colors come through in the F5 generation. June's growing it. Yay. Thank you, Akelia, for sharing the seed. Yes. Um, yeah, if any of you grown, I think Linda grew it also, I want to say. So very curious to see how it comes out in the F5 generation. I'm not growing Lauren again, and it was actually a good tomato, but I've got to be kind of like restrictive because I need to narrow things down. But Lauren's Awesome Sauce, I did send seeds to Tatiana. I think she's going to be growing it herself this year, so she may have it for sale in her shop after the season. All right, next one. Prince Charming's Bastard. How nice is it to say we have this back in circulation, huh, gang? So many of us have had this on our wish list for years. And then Angwei, our friend Angwei, who went by Phil Seneca of Good Mind Seeds, kind of took a step back from the tomato world for like a decade. And seeds were not to be found anywhere. And we are so fortunate that Angwei is back with us and a good friend. And he gave some of us seeds for Prince Charming's Bastard. And I did an experiment and grew it indoor, kind of like Jen did with the Lauren, Kina, and Jennifer. I couldn't wait to grow Prince Charming's Bastard. It is a dwarf. So I figured I can grow it indoors and the fruits will be smaller. And that's what happened. I grew it in a 1-gallon grow bag and got these small fruits. So these fruits will be a bit larger, I'm almost positive, when you grow it in a larger grow bag. I will be growing it again I tasted it on our show with Kina and Jen last Friday, and it was very good, very much sweeter than the brick score showed, which was like a what was it, Angwe? Like a 5 point something, 5.8. Um, and then I was cutting up other tomatoes, and each tomato seemed to be getting sweeter and sweeter. Next one was like in the sixes, and then my very last one was a 7.9. It was super sweet. And let me tell you, for those of you who are growing it, the picture in the bottom left is an underripe Prince Charming's Bastard. You can kind of see the little green on there. I know it looks white in some of the pictures. Mine did not turn out white. They went straight to a pale yellow. Um, but I found that the underripe, and Angwei does say this on Good Mind Seeds, and I think in Tatiana's tomato base they say it also, better underripe, and boy was it. It was good before, but a little underripe was insanely tasty. It tasted very similar to Angwei ES the tomato, I have to say. It was very fruity, super sweet, delicious. The photo on the right is not my photo. That's not my plant. That came from Angwei. So just to give you a taste of, you can grow it in a smaller container. How tall did it get in 1 gallon? 12 to 14 inches, I would say. It stayed pretty small. But as I'm sure most of us know, the smaller the container, the shorter the plant will be. But yeah, it was nice and contained. It definitely wasn't screaming like up pot me at all. And I did neglect it because I went away and didn't water it and came back and had these beauties for me. So I put seeds right in soil as I was saving them. And Angwei, if you're still here, thank you for giving some of us these seeds and for allowing us to help circulate the special variety again. I want Prince Charming's Bastard so bad. I know that's how I was for years. But luckily, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, my friends. Seeds will be available. All right. Ignore the thing that says Lauren's pick. That's from last year. This photo is from my last year's grow list because I tried to grow it and it didn't germinate. So I'm trying again. It's called that Russian tomato. There isn't a lot of information about it. I got seeds from a friend. Here's what we know. It's a delicious red beefsteak from Russia. It's got a cute story to it. Beloved by online world tomato communities, the blunt heart, and they say there's a funny story behind it. My friend got seeds from a Vermont farmer who was helping Carolyn Mail. Carolyn Mail, for those of you that don't know, she passed away a couple of years ago. She's the author, tomato head extraordinaire, was very active in the Tomatoville community, and she's also the author of this wonderful book, 100 Heirloom Tomatoes for the American Garden. Not sure why American. It's 100 heirloom tomatoes for any garden. But so she was very big in Tomatoville, shared a lot of seeds, got a lot of interesting stuff in a circulation, similar to what Craig LaHoulier does. Seeds came from Carolyn. Carolyn, towards the end of her life, I won't say the words, she just wasn't, as many are at the end of their life. They're not quite all there. She couldn't remember what the Russian variety was called. So instead, she just started calling it that Russian tomato, and it stuck. In Russia, some say that the shape is a large red beefsteak. I grew it and definitely got large red hearts, some more blunt than others, however. This person grew it for the Carolyn Mail tribute that she ran after she died and sent seeds to all participants. So it's out there mainly from her seeds at this point. Has anybody grown it? I'm sure people in Tomatoville have it. I'm really keeping my fingers crossed. I have some tricks up my sleeve for germination for this year. Mary sowed Prince Charming's Bastard last night. Exciting. All right. If you've grown that Russian tomato, let me know. And thank you to my friend who sent me the seeds. Super excited about this one. I've had this seed packet for a couple of years now. I ordered it. It's called Verde Variations. Ordered it a couple years ago from Bad Skin's Garden. She no longer has it on her site. When I was getting information from her about it, she's like, yeah, maybe I should grow it again. So perhaps at the end of the season, she'll grow it again. This was bred by the late Randy Sign of the United States. Um, Cultive Taru also sells it. Fruits weigh 300 to 500 grams, very fleshy, fragrant, and sweet flavor. Very robust plant with a good staggered production. Anybody grown Verde variations? You don't see much out there about it at all, which is, of course, that being a green one ripe, which is my jam, made me be like, I was looking at the seed pack and I'm like, why have I not grown this? And what is it? So a couple months ago, I looked and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to grow this. It's crazy. Um, so if anybody's grown Verde variations, let me know. Would love to hear what you thought. Next one. Hey, it's a Kina variety. So I sent Kina some of my crosses, um, and she sent me some of her crosses. And so I was going to grow 3. I still am hoping to grow 3 because she's got some really great looking ones. I may have to whittle it down to 2. Mary's excited about Verde variations. It's what a Lauren and Mary looking tomato. The green ones just get me all excited. Just wait, just wait. I've got a lot of interesting greens, like I did last year too, but I'm growing a lot of interesting greens this year too, including that one. This one Kina calls Wooing a Witch. She's really great with the names. She says it's got good, tangy, fresh taste, potential dwarf potato leaf variegated plant. Let me read that back to you. Potential dwarf potato leaf variegated. Kina's all about the interesting leaves, and she's really got some great stuff coming up. About 1 meter high. Fruits are around 70 to 100 grams. Small green one ripe beefsteak. Isn't this beautiful? Yay, says Kina. Thank you for sending me your seeds, my friend. I want to grow them all. I think Jen is growing them all. I don't have 500 spots like Jen does. Um, but hopefully in time, and we'll see how yours grow out this year, and we'll continue helping each other stabilize um, or plants. It's really fun helping others stabilize their plants and stabilizing your own too. It's great. I encourage you all, if you've ever thought that you wanted to breed a tomato but you think it's too hard, it's not. It's really not. In our group in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap, if you look in our guides, we have a whole breeder resource sheet, which includes links to videos, good articles by experts such as Mark McCaslin of Frog's Leap Farm and Fred Hempel, the late Fred Hempel. Um, Micros I find are a little tricky because the flowers are so small and they fall off. But it takes patience and many years. You can't just breed it. Well, some do breed a tomato, grow it for a year or two, and put it out. Some do that, and it can be fun. But generally, you want to grow it for 7 or 8 generations for it to be considered stable. Um, this is the reason why there's a lot of different Jarsons out there and Kazulas and Sophias, because they were released a bit before, or Lauren's, like Lauren's Awesome Sauce. They were released before completely stable. I don't usually have a problem with it. In fact, I don't think I ever have a problem with it. But anyway, I digress. I encourage you to pick 2 tomatoes that you really like, um, and try it this year. Try it. You can get pollen out of a not yet open flower with an electric toothbrush. You can get cheap ones on Amazon. I get these plastic Japanese soup spoons with the flat bottoms. You can get them like 20 in a pack because the pollen shows up really well and you can put it down and it won't tip over. And use a tiny little paintbrush and paint it on the stigma. And there you go. And then you mark it. You save that tomato. That tomato that you've just crossed will look just like the tomato it is. You save seeds from it, though. That's your F1. You save seeds from that. You grow it the next year. You've got your cross. I grew my first F1 in the house so I could be ready for F2s for last season. So it requires patience. But let me tell you, I am not a genius when it comes to science stuff at all. But I'm able to do it. Any grower can do it. Any grower can do it. And it's fun. It's absolutely fun. You've got enough people around. If you have a tomato friend you can trust who perhaps you can give seeds to, they can help you grow it out. Because technically in the F2 generation, if you want to try to get in all the genetics, I believe you need to grow 64 plants. I did not. but I think, that's textbook. Like if you really wanted to see all the different genetics you can get. I don't know how many people do that unless they're, well, I don't know. I really don't know. I know Kina didn't also, but it's fun. So don't think that it's impossible because if I can do it, anybody can do it. All right. I'm digressing. I need to get back to the thing. All right. So that's Wooing a Witch from Kina and getting a lot of feedback here, Kina. Love the name. You should see all her other names too. I think this is the only one of Kina's I'm talking about today, but there's more coming. All right, this is one, speaking of not stable yet, this is one from Bill Yoder. He had sent me a couple of his varieties to trial for him. This one's called Spellbound. Looks amazing. It is the band that sings Spellbound is Susie and the Banshees, for any of you fellow new wave 80s people. He did put a post of this in on his Facebook page, and he said, I realize my collections are lacking tomatoes representing female singers. I'm naming this one Spellbound by Susie and the Banshees. He's mesmerized by the color and the stripes on this one. He's hoping to release it at the end of the summer. So feel very honored to have been sent seeds to help build trial, just like everything else that Bill puts out. The color, he's like the wizard of color. I don't know how he gets it. And he's just so humble about it. Like he acts like it's nothing, but it's something. The sweatshirt says tomato season. That's me. The genetics and all are confusing for me, but I would love to make a cross or two. You know, who should talk to Ongwei. Chat GPT can be a help. The genetics get confusing for me as well, but I know enough. I know enough to get by. But if you're looking for super specific things, like you need to know about dominant genes and recessive genes, potato leaf is recessive. You know, obviously variegated is recessive. So, but I've got a micro dwarf going right now. That's a cross of a micro and a regular dwarf. And so I selected for micros from that. And it's looking really cool, I have to say. Just planted the F5. All right, that's Spellbound. Let's move it along, Lauren. Hey, I just found out about this one sort of recently. Dr. William Weaver, you may have heard me mention his name in the past. He's a food historian. He's also bred some other tomatoes, often with the name Roughwood in front of them. How I did not know about this one is beyond me. What is the site called? It's Roughwood. Roughwood. It's not Roughwood Seeds. Seedways. I think it's seedways.org. But if you Google Roughwood, hang on, I think I have the link here. Come on. Oh, it's not linked. Google Roughwood Green Oxheart. It will come up. So Dr. William Weaver is very active in food history and all of that. I think his work's amazing. In fact, I want to reach out to him to try to get him on my show with Jen. He created this in 1995. It's a cross between a variety called Green Tito's, which I had never heard of, and China Half Moon, which I believe is a white. He says the result is a luscious, large, strawberry-shaped tomato with yellow skin and green flesh. Excellent flavor and a good match with salty cheese, anchovies, or caviar. You can tell he's like a foodie. He's after my own heart. Since the fruits are heavy, these tomato plants require staking or cages. Sadly, they're out of stock on them. Why are they out of stock? Because I bought the last 2 packets. I had to have them. I would have ordered more if he had more in stock. Achilles says, Ongwei has generously signed up to be my tomato crossing sensei. He's mine too. Well, he's my genetics sensei. I haven't, my crosses were made before I really knew Ongwei, but he will tell you I rely on him all the time. All right, so that's Roughwood Green Oxheart from Dr. William Moyes Weaver. I got some other things from his shop too. Great packaging, great varieties, and he puts very detailed information in there. Here's a fun one, not stable yet. Another one from Tatiana Nagel from Latvia called Baron Munchausen. It's only an F3. Um, Tomato Sato was selling it, and Tatiana's like, no, I wasn't ready to release it yet. She's not selling it as far as I know, but I am growing it. And actually, she had ended up sending me seeds. I ended up buying them from Tomato Sato, but she sent me some seeds too. I wish I knew what the inside looked like. I do see, for those of you that know me, I'm very well aware that there's heavy antho on the top there, but sometimes it works out where it doesn't have a taste, even with heavy. And I don't like the anthocyanin, which is the black stuff you see at the top. Not a fan. I find it tastes like soap and metallic. And yes, I do like cilantro. It has no, for me, there's no connection there. But I grow a lot with antho on it because Bill Yoder uses a lot of it. Sofia Sakova, who I grew tons of last year, she had a lot of antho, and sometimes it's undetectable. This looks just amazing, and so I have to grow it. Plus, Tatiana's my friend, and I want to see her newest creation. Um, Keenis is Mary. When you learn what traits are dominant, it's not that hard to know what you will get. True, true. Um, Put it in like ChatGPT or AI or something. Now, I don't trust everything from there because often it just makes stuff up, especially tomato research. Let me tell you, I will often use it if I need it. Um, but if something looks wacky, and it's a lot of the time, I will tell you that, I will ask for a source and it'll be like, no, no source. We just thought it was like logical. So you have to be really careful. I see people putting AI stuff in the group all the time. Like, this says this about this. Somebody put something about Pa's Pride, which is a micro slash mini bred by Heidi Dolan just last week. What the heck was it? I don't remember, but it was very, very wrong. Um, yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, but in regards to genetics, you can find out some good information through AI as kind of like a composite thing, but definitely look at our breeder resource sheet. There's all kinds of formulas on there and stuff. Um, Probably can use a little updating, but I think it's got good information on there. All right, Valerie, if you're still here, this one's for you. Boathouse. Valerie said, um, it was her favorite tomato of the 2025 season. This is Val of Val's Backyard Heirlooms, I think is the new name for the business. She's on Etsy. She also has a website now as well. She got them, I believe, from J&L Seeds. There's not much information out there. I looked. The J&L seed packet just says big husky plant set lots of these purple beauties with green stripes and a wonderful spicy flavor. Need cover to control splitting in hot weather. Val says she sat on these seeds for a handful of years, and now she's sad it took her so long to grow it. Big plants at large green striped slicing tomatoes that ripen to a dusky purple. Flavor and production are outstanding. She can't stop raving about it, which means Lauren's growing it for sure. Gigi's growing Boathouse. And Achilles growing Boathouse. I bet a lot of people are growing Boathouse. All right, sadly, this is the only picture I have of this tomato, Amish Fisherman. This is a year, I was going to start by saying what kind of things I'm growing this year in general. I'm growing a lot of Ongways. I'm growing a lot of Bill Yoder. With no surprise on either one. I did that last year as well. Doing a lot of pinks. I'm only growing one Sophia, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Have a new to me breeder from Russia, female, that I'll be talking about in a minute also. But cherries, Lee Goodwin. I'm growing a lot of Lee Goodwin from J&L Seed. So I'm growing a lot of American stuff this year, which is like the past 2 years I had been doing a lot of Ukrainian and Russian. And this year I decided to keep it kind of close to home and look at stuff that may not be widely available. Amish Fisherman sounded great to me. It's a potato leaf pink, which I'm kind of a sucker for these days. Um, Bill Minky says good yields, excellent flavor. Sandhill Preservation Center says flattened globe in shape. Amish Fisherman was distributed through Sandhill Preservation Center. Glenn Drowns, who owns the seed Sandhill, acquired it from an Amish source. It was preserved and shared via the Sandhill Preservation Center rather than introduced commercially. Never widely commercialized, stayed in preservation collector circulation. Anybody grown this one? Valerie's saying regarding Boathouse, you will love it. I have no doubt. No doubt. Not I'm growing a couple Spanish this year, but last year was Spanish. I think you may be thinking of last year. Last year I did a lot of Spanish. Am I doing? I think I'm doing at least one Spanish, but that was last year. Um, this year I've got a couple good ones from Italy, one from Chile. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing any Spanish. Oh, well, I'm doing Habanese again, which was my favorite Spanish from last year. That I'll definitely be doing again. Anybody grown Amish fisherman? Okay, so I mentioned a couple minutes ago, there's a new to me breeder from Russia named Valentina Chulyakina. Chulyakina, and I'm growing two of hers this year. This one I had on my most wanted list. Didn't think I'd get it this year, but my friend who was able to give me some of those F1 Japanese varieties hooked me up with this one. It translates in English to color boom. Look at this. Look at this. Let me expand. I shall show you. Isn't that gorgeous? This is taken right from Valentina's site in Russia. Um, the cross is Coeur de Surprise and Nature's Riddle, which explains some of the coloring. Fruits are round, brown, greenish red tint. Flesh is tricolor, pink and red swirls. Flavor is delicate, sweet with a subtle tartness. Anybody else growing this one? Color Boom. Love the name too. Here's another Bill Yoder. Looks similar to the last one I showed called Get the Balance Right. It's from Depeche Mode series, a chocolate cherry. Very productive and strong plants. Looking forward to that too. I just love that color, and cherries that color. It's got to be good, right? His Hungry Like the Wolf last year was great. Okay, here's another one from Angwei that I'm happy to grow again to help him stabilize. Hagandees. It was a cross between Grungy in the Sky Bicolor and Everett's Rusty Oxheart. The plant was a monster and full of these. They don't look like much, but let me tell you, they were swimming in these. They look like a plum tomato, but they're seedy and juicy and sweet. You can see the Brix is a 5.9. I loved it. So I grew several of Angwei's not not yet stabilized crosses last year, and this one, when I showed him the pictures, he's like, "Yeah, let's go forward with this one." So yeah, really, really loved it. It's great for salsa. I mean, I had so many of them that I was using it for salsa. Any tomato is really good for salsa, but this one in particular, it's just so seedy that you can see the interior is just a deep red. Can't wait to see what comes out in this F4 generation. Thank you, Angwei, for allowing me to help you again. I know Achille is helping out with this one too. I forget what Hagandees means. Isn't it like a scary thing? I forget. Maybe you can remind us if you're still here. That is a Lauren tomato. You're talking about the last one. Yes, I agree. Mary's growing Valentina's Radiant Heart, but Color Boom looks awesome. I agree. Not growing that one. I am growing one more of hers, which maybe I'll talk about next week. So that's Hagandees. Deb, yeah, that's a Deb tomato too. Hello, Color Boom. Let's look back at Color Boom. Oop, there we go. Color Boom. I love the outside color, and then you get the inside color. It's just outstanding. Oops. Okay. Next, we go into Jake's Red Cherry. I got these seeds a while ago. My son's name is Jake. Last year, I grew a tomato called Jake's. Jake's German, as a matter of fact. This comes from a vendor in the United States called Jake's Seeds. Really hard to find. I've only seen it at one other vendor, and I just had to grow it. It's an heirloom variety. This is according to Jake's Seeds. Heirloom variety his father gave to him. It was first found in his yard in the 1980s as a stray tomato plant. He dug it up, grew it. Long story short, it was the best cherry variety of the year. Over the years, he grew it more and more. It seemed no cherry variety could keep up with the yield and quality. Once ripe, they want to pop and squirt as you bite into them. That's my kind of cherry. That's what I like. Harvest as much as you can before the frost hits. Expect plants from 5 to 10 feet tall with hundreds to thousands of tomatoes. And then a site in Poland called Pomidorlandia. So it's incredibly productive, bit larger than small cherries. They reach the size of a ping pong ball. Fruit contains a lot of juice, ideal thirst quencher on a hot summer day. We were talking in Team Ongway the other day about amazing grapes. That's what that was for me last year. His amazing grapes, which is the sister plant to Lost Marbles. It's a green when ripe cherry. Oh, that was like the ultimate hot day snack, and it was super productive. Anybody? I'm a big salsa maker too. Hagandees is a long-nosed monster that punishes naughty children. I knew it was something like that, but I didn't want to get it wrong. Thanks, Ongway. All right, nobody's grown Jake's Red Cherry. Here's another one of mine. There are no tomatoes named Riley. I actually didn't even plan that, the Jake and the Riley. Riley's my daughter's name. There's plenty of things, well, several things that have Jake in the name, but not Riley. So I named one. This is also from my Malachite box, Dwarf Purple Heartthrob Cross. This is an indeterminate, not a dwarf. Taste-wise, probably my favorite of the four that we're carrying forward. Productive. You can see it's a purple, green, metallic tomato. The brick score of the 6.1 off to the side. As you can see, those tomatoes are underripe. I was doing a taste test in the photo with the four photos and the graphic with the four photos. You can see what the ripe tomato looks like inside. It's got like a deep pink and then got green seeds and goo. The one on the right is a bit underripe, so I was just testing, and they were even sweeter when they were underripe. So that's that picture there. Thank you. I'm super psyched for my tomatoes and what to see going through. It's like to have one named after my daughter. I've also named one after Rory, but I'm not talking about that one today. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, James. And Laura, thank you. And my humble garden, I appreciate it. Yeah, this one, it's amazing how many colors. I said this more than a couple minutes ago. It's amazing how many colors, shapes, sizes. Like it's really amazing. Genetics is really quite amazing. I got a lot of purples out of the cross, just purples with no stripes, and they just didn't taste like. You take Malachite box and Dwarf Purple Heartthrob, two exceptional tomatoes, and you would think it's got to be exceptional, and they were good. I didn't find them exceptional. I only carried forward the exceptional ones, and Smiley Riley is one of them. Thanks everybody for your kind words about Smiley Riley. Riley's also my coworker's firstborn's name. Beautiful name. Thank you. Riley just turned 30 while we were away in Destin, which is blows my mind. I can't believe I'm old enough to have a 30-year-old. But back then, Riley wasn't a well-known name. So I was telling people her name was Riley, and I'm sure to all of you now, you're like, what's the big deal? But back 30 years ago in 1996, people were like, oh, okay. Is it a family name? No. um, Now, of course, there's tons of Rileys, male and female, out there. This one I just got talked into. Hopefully, it stays on my list. I grew it, was it 2 or 3 years ago? I think it was. I think it was 2023. Anyway, it's called Uptown Funk by Blaine Horton. It has Malachite box in the cross and Berkeley pink tie-dye, which are two of my favorite tomatoes of all time. Also, unfortunately, has indigo rose in it, which I find a very unfortunate anthocyanin tomato, but the three of them together works. And I loved this tomato. I've turned several people on to Uptown Funk. Incredibly productive, beautiful. I think we gave it a 9 out of 10, which is, we just don't give out very freely. I mentioned bred by Blaine Horton of Mississippi in the United States. Didn't It was so long ago I didn't have a refractometer yet, so I don't know the brick score. I love the heart shaped one down in the corner, but somebody was talking about it. Was it Malachite Jen maybe in the group? And I'm like, oh yeah, Uptown Funk. I should grow that again. So this one might be on the bubble, but right now I'm intending on growing it again. Oh, good, Nicole, you're growing Uptown this year. I think you'll like it. It's great. So anything that has malachite box in the cross, I'm all over it. When I heard indigo rose was in it too, I'm like, I'll try. There's no detectable antho to me at all. In fact, I tasted it. Is this the one? I think on my very first show with Jen, our very first Tomato Talk Live, I think I tasted this tomato. I could be wrong about that, but I think so. Okay, here's one from Italy. I've talked about it before. It's called Paratipo Cosentino. I got seeds from Great Lakes Staple Seed Company a couple years ago. Looks like a stuffer tomato, which I'm not normally a fan of. They're really hard to find. I know there's a vendor in Seed Savers Exchange that does have it. Great Lakes Staple Seeds says regular leaf, mid-season, red globe. Cosentino is in Italy's Calabria region. More a spontaneous addition to my 2022 tomato trials. This is from them. Hadn't had luck finding any history, but they found it very worthy. So I'm going to give it a try. Thought, hey, if it's that rare, I'll help get them out into circulation. Looks and sounds like fun. Nicole said, I grew Uptown Funk last year. It was so good. Falcon in the Garden says, start it for this year's garden, but also on the brink of shriveling up from the heat and wind. I think nature turns my grow list for me because I can't do it. Aw. Well, let me tell you, Uptown Funk is one of those plants I mentioned that I thought I lost due to the frost that one year, and it popped back. So I know heat and frost are different, but it is pretty hardy, just like all tomato plants. All right, here's the one, Sophie, I'm growing this year. Malachite Organza. Look at the colors on this. Look at the colors. The cross for these is Brilliant Opa Disano, which I've never heard of, and Taiga, which is Karen Olivier variety. It's tall. It's a potato leaf, medium, early, large fruits that weigh 300 to 800 grams. Tasty pulp, very few seeds in the fruits. I know she's got some great looking new stuff out this year, and I could have grown more, but I decided to just. Last year was my Sophia year, but I had to grow this one. Next one, and I think Keena's growing it too. Here's a neat one from here in the United States, bred by Timothy T., who does a lot of the breeding for Heritage Seed Market or Bunny Hop Seeds. He's from the United States. This is called Janine's Heart. Look at the colors on this. This is a new one this year. And last year I grew Almost Century Pink, which was also one of his. I've grown a couple things of his. Carolina Dusk was another one of his. Um, he's also bred Sweet Splash Electra, Charlene, and what's the other one? Charlotte and Charlene, I think. This cross is Everett's Rusty Oxheart and Indian Stripe, which explains some of the coloring. Let me enlarge this for you so you guys can get a take on just how gorgeous this is. Isn't it beautiful? Janine's heart. Sadly, I think Heritage Seed Market is out of stock on these as well. Anybody else growing it? Getting a lot of comments on organza. Yes, it was really pretty. Really pretty. Mayor from afar. Can't wait to hear how organza tastes. Yeah, all right. So that's Janine's heart. Achilles growing malachite organza also. So I'll have several of us growing it. Nobody with Janine's heart? Rach is growing Charlotte, Charlene, and Sweet Splash Electra from Bunny Hop. Good. It's a great seed vendor. Okay, this was another one that I had on my most wanted list a couple years ago, I think. Pantano di Ardia from Italy. It was brought back, like there's a great story behind it from circatorredesemi.com. They say, we are proud to have rediscovered this heirloom from our host municipality. This historic tomato is grown in the municipality of Ardia and surrounding areas. Preserved by a handful of enthusiasts, it was now almost a thing of the past. It wasn't easy to find seeds. It's a determinate, moderately productive, particularly hardy. Fruits ribbed and irregular in shape. For those in the region, they're giving out free seeds for Pantano di Ardia. I tried to order, they did not ship to the United States, but one of my wonderful seed friends from Europe, actually, I had many of you who put it because they had it on their site for a while, but they weren't selling it yet. And you could put in, like, send me an email when it's available. And so many of you did because I had some lovely messages from you guys the day it was released, like, it's out, it's out, it's out. So thank you. I'm excited to grow this. I love varieties that are, nearly extinct. In fact, I've got two on my grow list this year. I'm uber excited about that. I was able to get from the USDA National GRIN, which is the germplasm research seed. They have a seed bank there, and there's two that I'm honored to grow that can't be found anywhere else as far as I know. So I'm not talking about either one of them today, but I love these varieties. I consider it an honor to grow these varieties and circulate the seeds. I don't sell anything, you guys know. And so many of you give me some rare and beautiful seeds. And so I think it's the least I can do to save seeds and distribute them. So things like this and the other things like Ongway seeds I helped distribute this year. Malapine, that now my favorite green and ripe. I gave out tons and tons of those. I find it fun and a privilege to do that. So excited to grow Pantano di Ardia. Anybody else growing it? I know many of you signed up for that email to be alerted when it came. And it's funny to think of this, the size of this as a determinate, isn't it? Can't wait to see. How are we doing here? Oh, we're doing really well. Wow. All right. I knew I would use today as a gauge to see how many I could get through in 2 hours because I really want to keep it to 6 episodes. And I thought I'll put 30 varieties. Oh, I should have said this before. Yeah. So this is an actual name of a new tomato. Anyway, I wanted to see if I could do 30 varieties in a 2-hour show, and I can. Big mother effer. I did not invent this name. This is not one of mine. This came from Camilla Plum from Denmark, from Camilla Plum's farm shop. She's the woman responsible for Obama, which is another one I got from her last year, and I gave out a ton of seeds for. To be honest, it doesn't look like something I would ordinarily grow. However, this is all she has to say in her shop is it's very large, red, juicy tomatoes, oblong, fleshy, and one of the sweetest tomatoes I have ever tasted, good both in salads and cooking. So while I love a good name, and I do, and this one's kind of hard to pass up, Um, and the fact that it's new and that I like the stuff she puts out. The sweetest tomato she's ever tasted, I'll be the judge of that. I know Keena's growing this too. Um, yes, I will let you know how big it gets. I will let you know. Um, definitely. I gave Jen seeds for this. Have no fear. Naughty garden grow list for sure. Um, yeah, there you go. Big mother effer. For whatever reason, Camilla Plum is no longer selling Obama. And I think Keena said there was another one like that too that she had up. I also grew of hers last year, Green Prince Ruffled, which I found kind of not that great. But yeah, I don't know why she's not selling Obama any longer. I quite liked it. All right. See if I can do two more. It's only 5:36. We can do this. We can do hard things. Okay. Next one. Got seeds thanks to Kina from Jardins de Tomates. Jardins de Tomates this year decided they're no longer shipping to the United States. They do, however, you can have your account, and if somebody's willing to get the order shipped to them, you can still do the whole $40 order. Was it $40? You can order up to 50, something like that, or maybe I'm reversing it. So I had this whole big order. I placed the order. They took my money and all of that. And then a couple days later, they decided, no, we're not doing the United States again or anymore. So they canceled my order. And there were a few on there that I really, really wanted. This was one of them. Choiceal. It's very hard to find information on it. In fact, they say there's little traceability for this variety, which I received in a trade a few years ago. However, this is from Jardins de Tomates. However, with a bit of searching, it appears on a few exchange websites with the following descriptions: a tomato with large, round, flattened red fruit, weighing 150 to 300 grams. Its flesh is beefsteak type, firm and flavorful. Plant grows to 1.8 to 2 meters or more. Mid-season, has indeterminate growth. It's a very rare variety. So rare, in fact, that few have ever heard of it. And they say perhaps it originated in the village of Choiseul in someplace in France. I did find it in one other place called Mr. B Tomatoes. They don't have much else to say about it. In fact, I think the photo on the left is from Mr. B Tomatoes. Choiseul tomato, large, round, flat, and red fruit, same size. Beef like flesh, plump and tasty. Same mid-season, same size. It's a very rare variety. Very rare? I'm in. I'm in. Anybody else order this from Jardins de Tomates? Thank you, Lauren, for Malapine. I started one seed and it's germinated already. That's good to hear. Glad to hear. Who is that again? Do you mean the vendor? They're called Jardins de Tomates. They've got fantastic. Hang on, I'll put the link up to you. They're in France. They have a fantastic selection. And last year I took advantage. I'm going to put in the comments now the link. Jardins with a J, de tomates.fr for France. I don't know if that's what you were asking, but just in case you were wondering. So they have like memberships basically, and you can sign up for maybe 3 different levels of membership, and it will then you're entitled. You can order like 30 seeds, maybe 30 varieties rather, in one membership, and then I think maybe up to 40 or 50, I forget. And they have some really great and hard to find varieties. There's at least 3 on my grow list this year that I can think of that came from there that you really can't find anywhere else. But alas, they don't ship to the United States. So if you have a good friend from overseas who is willing to take the package for you, Pretty actually told me that they're doing that. By all means, go for it. It's a great site. So that's Choiceil. I ordered from Bunny Hop and sent to 2 international because they can't get it overseas. Kina was one trade. It's nice to help each other. It is nice to help each other for sure. All right, and last one. Keep feeling fascination. This is Fascination from the Human League, who sings that a whole lot better than I do. Another Bill Yoder one. The ones on the left are obviously not ripe yet. Look at the ones in the center. I'm telling you, the man is a color wizard. I don't know how he does it. Early to mid-season indeterminate regular leaf plants, loads of 5 to 10 ounce yellow heart-shaped fruits. They have good flavor when yellow, but you can let some ripen fully to a golden color and the flavor will be sweeter. And Bill says he liked them at both stages. Anybody else growing fascination? Keep feeling fascination, passion burning, look so strong. You poor people that are joining in for the first time, like, it's a crazy person. She can't sing. Dustin, are you working on a video about that one particular tomato vendor from, yes, Michigan? I think I heard you mention it before your trip. Yes, I am good now that I am home from my trip. And there's been lots of other annoying things that Luke from MI Gardener has been doing. So I am hoping to get it done soon. Start working on it. I have screenshots. It's just the stuff he's trying to get away with, besides the stuff he did in the tomato world, but just in general. I don't know what happened to this guy. He used to be like, I used to watch his videos. He was so, well, he appeared to be so kind and helpful. I loved his videos. And now he just seems like really angry and he's fear mongering and getting people to order seeds. And he put a video up the other day of like trashing Walmart's um, fruit trees and actually breaking off stems and stuff. Like, he's a total grifter. His seeds are terrible. I've heard beyond bad experiences with him. What I'm going to be talking about specifically is the damage he's done to the tomato world with renaming or with naming varieties with names that already exist. And some other things. Mine will be specific information with screenshots on all of that, and just a warning to people to, um, proceed with caution. I would recommend you never, and nobody ever orders from him again because he lies. I know of somebody who was kind and wrote him the other day about something that he was fear mongering, and she wrote something and he removed the post. And when she asked him why, he denied it. He removed my post too. Um, and he denies it. And his followers believe him because he has that boy next door kind of look. I will be working on it. Thank you, Dustin. Have no fear. I'm not going to let the tomato community down. I will be doing it. I just needed this vacation. Yep, Becca. I think it's weird he's asking people to buy seeds to help them buy more farmland. Yep. And I found a post of his yesterday. He was looking, he's really into, I guess, fruit trees now. I only see a little bit because he's blocked me on Facebook, but I saw on, I think in a public Facebook group, he's buying up all this land. He wants to grow very rare apples, which is great. It's wonderful. He was looking to hire a farmer who will do all the planting. Luke will provide the seeds. This farmer will do all the planting, um, all the hard work, but Luke will do the harvesting. And of course, that's so he can, say, "Look what I grew," and put it all on video. He's really a grifter. You guys have to trust me. If you haven't had your own experience, you've got to trust me. I have no reason to lie to you. This is Luke from MI Gardener. I will be working on a video. It is poaching, Rach. People work hard to breed new varieties. The breeder should have 100% credit. Totally agree. Yeah, it's kind of a newish development, June. I've never created a video that's trashing somebody. That's not the way I operate. But after what happened with the tomato world, and he knew full well what he was doing because I told him about it, as did others, and he did it anyway. He's not a nice guy. He looks like a nice guy. He wants you to believe he's a nice guy. He's rude, he's mean, and he is a grifter. He just is. He'll do anything to get a sale. And his seeds are terrible. All right. Linda's a little behind. I'm growing fascination. Excellent. Excellent. No, wild man. Did you see the video where he got ripped off in a greenhouse? What goes around? No, I didn't. What goes around comes around. Yeah. All right, gang. Well, that's episode 1 of my 2026 Grow List series. So we got 32 varieties in an hour 45 minutes. So that's good. We had over 100 live viewers at one point. Happy to have you. Hope you guys can join me tomorrow. I don't have the correct promo up, even though I made it, for Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce. So hopefully you block out Wednesdays and Thursdays for me, Tuesdays for Ken, and you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for peppers one day and then tomatoes the other. I will do this again next week. We'll do it for 6 weeks. By the end of the 6 weeks, I'll be ready to do my garden tours, which will now be on Wednesdays also. So thanks for joining in. I will see you next time. Peace, love, get your gratitude on, and go grow tomatoes. Bye, gang.